Hello and welcome to Vapor Game. I am your host, the vocal terrorist Jesse Rain, and you are watching episode number 6 of Starcraft 2 Best of the Best, where we learn how the pros do it. So today, I have picked a replay on GSL's Daybreak between SKMC and Startail Bomber. This is going to be a much less specific show today than we normally have. We're going to be talking about general builds, and we've got a lot to get into. We're going to times for this until we get through. So the first thing I want to talk about is going to be Bomber. Basically, well, in fact, let's talk about Terran vs Protoss first, shall we? It's a very strange matchup. It's one of the matchups I'm hesitant to yet quite call balanced, because Protoss late game is so strong against the Terran bio play. I feel like either Terrans have to find a way to make mech work against Protoss, or something is going to have to change in the metagame. Like, there's just something needs to change about this matchup, because what's happening at the moment is, if Terrans do not do damage in the mid game with their bio armies, they will lose. Excuse me. That is just the way it is going. And so, as you can see, Bomber is going the heavy barracks tile off of the one Rax expand. MC's being totally normal, getting his own expand off of one gate, getting gateways up. Genuinely thought he was putting down a forge there, which was really weird. But no, it was just a gateway. So, Bomber's just going to mass up this bio army. It's going to be a few Marauders. We'll likely transition into a few Ghosts, but it's going to be mainly Marines. And I just want to talk about the glass cannon nature of Marines. The problem with Marines is they do a ton of DPS, but they have very little health. They die very quickly. The only way Terrans get around this is they are incredibly numerous. They have so many Marines that quite often you will get an overkill situation where your opponent's units are hitting it with more damage than is required to kill it, but therefore wasting damage that could otherwise have killed other units. Medevacs of course change this. Healing them does make them slightly less glass cannony, but they do still die really quickly. And as we can see, Bomber is just adding more and more barracks and a command centre. So we are nearing the time for what I want to talk about. So we're going to slow down to times 2. Basically, what we're going to see happen is Bomber attack up this little... it's not quite a choke, it's wide enough to just be an approach. Attack up this approach and try and take down this third base. That's what he needs to do to gain the advantage, to go into the late game feeling confident. However, should MC hold it, he will then be in a bunch of trouble. He'll be in a huge amount of trouble. Now, I like this, by the way. He is going to do a little bit of drop play up in this corner in just a moment. He's going to load all these units up, drop into here, and just take down anything he can. That's a really nice way to abuse the Protoss. Your Bioforce is incredibly mobile, and so you can move around to put a stop to it. As we see, he takes down the Nexus, forces a cancel, and then just lifts up and leaves before the Stalkers get there. Doesn't lose anything. That's a really nice play from Bomber. That's one of the ways to use Bio to its full effectiveness. Now, if we take a look at the unit counting station, what does MC have? Not a great deal at the moment. He has 12 Zealots, he has 11 Stalkers and 4 Sentries. And in just a minute, he's going to have to defend this huge approach here with those units. Now, he does have a Templar Archives just finishing up, and Psystorm is started. Now, this is the point I'm going to be making today. As we slow this down to normal speed, we are going to watch this attack come in. Sorry, I am misreading my notes. It is not at 14 minutes at all. It is at 15 minutes, which means Psystorm will be done. That makes a lot more sense for what I was going for, because we are going to talk about crowd control and damage. So, here we go. We are going to slow down now, and we're going to watch this attack come in. Now, Bomber has enough medevacs there. He can heal this. The Observer sees it. The High Templars are trying to escape. Psystorm is just about to finish. Another High Templars go down. And here we go. Here we start to see the crowd control of MC, using these force fields to try and separate the army down. Now, Bomber is going to drop this factory and try and stop these charge lots from doing too much damage. But we have this Psystorm. That's what I'm talking about. When I spoke to you before about overkill and not wasting damage, that's what Psystorm does so well. It hits a huge ton of units. Look at that. See how many units got damage there? That is a huge amount. If we just pause for a second. A huge amount of these units are now in the yellow and orange. Some of them were in red before the medevacs started healing them. And the medevacs themselves are starting to take some damage and starting to lose energy. When I spoke to you before about overkill, say a Stalker, right? A Stalker does 11 damage versus a Marine. And a Marine has 55 health. So that's 5 shots to kill a Marine. Now it's slightly being healed, so it will take 7 shots or 8 shots. But some of that damage will be wasted. The last shot will maybe only need 6 damage. And 11 damage is still done. So that is 5 damage that could have hit this Marine and killed him, but didn't. What Psystorm, what area of effect attacks do, Psystorm, Archon attacks, Colossi, Thermal Lance, what they do is stop the overkill from occurring because they hit all the units at the same time. And now, we're going to go back into this and we're just going to watch how that changes this battle. Now here is where the factory starts to hinder Bomber. It allows these sentries to force field off and cut the army in half and hit them with huge Psystorms here. So many units dying under those Psystorms. And that's going to be game over for Bomber in this attack. Now he just doesn't have the units left. That is why area of effect is so important as a Protoss versus the glass cannon bio of a Terran. As we will watch now, MC just completely take this down. The last of Bomber's units die, and there's nothing he can do. Now it should be noted that Bomber still has the supply advantage, but that doesn't matter. Because Protoss MC held the attack. That was all he needed to do, and now he can head towards his late game composition. As we'll skip in just so we can see it happen. The late game composition, of course, versus a Bioterran is Charge Lot Archon. Thank you. 7 more gateways go down, so he's going to be able to make a ton of Zealots and Archons. Excuse me, I need to cough again. Sorry about that. Now the Ghosts are going to try and do something, but there's just not enough. See, Bomber again, getting desperate, has to attack at this point, because he knows he has to do damage before that 20-minute marker. But the Archons are already on their way. The upgrades, the level 3 upgrades are about to be done. And so this is going to be the end, I'm afraid. These charge lots and Archons are just going to slowly make their way through this army. Once again, the splash damage of the Archons, avoiding the overkill issue, along with the Psystorm from the High Templars, and just taking down a huge amount of these low health, low defense units. I like the switch into Marauders that Bomber's tried to do. He knows there's no air out, so he doesn't have to worry about shooting upwards, but it's still not going to be enough. We'll skip ahead, we'll just watch to the end of this, because I just want to watch how the Charge Lot army does. And we have the time, so why not watch something that's pretty freaking awesome. We'll watch it at times too, because we don't have that much time. This base goes down for Bomber, and Bomber can feel it. Bomber can feel that the end is coming. There's nothing he can do. There's no tech switch he can make. Terran doesn't like that. Terran doesn't like the Zerg or even the Protoss in that manner, where you can just do a really nice late game tech switch and completely flummox your opponent. Terran, more than any other race, really have to be doing that damage. And here we go. One last gigantic battle now. And that is going to be the end of that. We have more units up here. Another base for Bomber's going to go down. Nice repairing here. But in the end, it's completely fruitless. And we're going to hit exactly 10 minutes. Man, I have timed this out nicely. I am such a good host to you guys. And there we go. Everything dies, Bomber GG's. So there you have it. That is why crowd control and area of effect are so important versus the glass cannon Bioterran. Thank you very much for watching. I have been your host, the vocal terrorist Jesse Rain. You can also find me over at youtube.com/VoctorGaming and www.easystarcraft.com. As well as that, I am now the official in-house caster for the UK's Team Carnage, who also have their own YouTube channel, youtube.com/Carnage Esports TV. Videos will be going up on that very shortly. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next